Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends of all shapes and sizes, and welcome back to MLB The Show 19 and the Jason Parham Road to the Show. I'm Tyrant Saber. Last time out, we finished up the 2026 season with Jason's first year with the Philadelphia Phillies ended, sadly, in no postseason appearance for Jason and company, but nonetheless, we find ourselves back out here for another year of baseball, leading into 2020 in the real world, and MLB The Show 20 coming out here in a couple of weeks. So in lead up to that, we're going to continue on Show 19 as usual. And we are just going to play our games, do as we do, and get out here and get some games in, have some fun. Phillies coming into the 2027 season in Jason World are looking projected actually to be best in the NL East, best in the majors, in fact. They are projected to be 16th best in contact, 12th best in power, best pitching, surprising nobody, I'm sure, 9th best defense, and 14th best speed. So good players. I did actually reload and redo the postseason just so that they would have some slightly different players. Here's how our lineup shapes up here in 2027. We got Victor Gutierrez hitting leadoff at shortstop, Raymond Cortez at left, Eric Otska, center field, Jared Gall playing here for the Phillies for the first year, I think. Came over from Colorado after a year off in free agency. Floyd Witt, who Jason has played against off of the Cleveland Indians for quite a few years, playing first base. Designated hitter is Jorge Soler, and I guess they're going to be platooning Jorge in right with Jared Gall against right-handers and left-handers, or lefties and righties, respectively, I should say. DHing when that's appropriate. Chance Sisco at catcher with Carlos Flores at second and Adrian Rodriguez at third base. Sitting on the bench, we got Francisco Mejia, Travis Leroy, looks like utility infielder, middle infielder. Center fielder Jose Rodriguez with secondary left and right, so utility outfielder, and Damon Sierra, again, utility outfielder, left and right field. So that's our lineups, and now the bullpen. We got Jason Parham leading the rotation, ace for the Philadelphia Phillies. Enrique Cardenas coming back again, Kevin Purvis, Mauricio Reyes, and Fernando Rodriguez rounding out the rotation. And then in the bullpen, we got Zach Eflin, long relief, Michael Rosado, middle reliever, Enrique Liriano, Antoine Ridley. Setup men, Kyle Crick and Steve Ordonez. Rookie Steve Ordonez coming in as setup man for the Phillies. And then closing pitcher, Chris Valdez. So I guess we'll find out just how good this team really is, because it has the potential to be really good, I think, but I guess we're not going to find out until we get out here and get a game in. Jason had himself a pretty good spring training. You know, the Phillies did not have the best record, but Jason finished 2-0, had an 0.78 ERA, 34 and 2/3 innings, and 39 strikeouts, a whip of 0.72. So he was just putting guys out left and right there. They could touch him very little. In fact, he only gave up a couple of hits, a couple of home runs in the final game he started against the Baltimore Orioles. But, none of that matters. It all washes away in the face of the first game of the season. So let's get out here and get it. Playing against the New York Mets in Citi Field. Now, Jason has faced the Mets a grand total of 12 times. He has an 8-0 record against them, a 1.77 ERA, and a 2.97 or 0.297 WOBA. So we like to see those numbers, and we like to see them on the decline, but I like them right where they're at, honestly. So I guess we'll see about trying to keep them where they're at. So let's get out here and get it.
MLB Network has baseball coming your way from the home of the Mets, Citi Field. It's the opener of this three-game series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Hello again, everybody. Baseball is back. Welcome to our special opening day broadcast on MLB Network. I'm joined by Mark DeRosa and Dan Plesac. The staffs for these two teams sure to be a focal point as this series moves along.
Hey, just like any team, pitching is going to be the key factor for this ball club as the year plays out. I'm sure the staff will have its ups and downs, but putting together some quality outings early in the season could do wonders for this club getting out of the gate with a good start.
The game's count starting now. Opening day on MLB Network, and it's coming up next. Getting close to first pitch here. Let's listen in to public address announcer Alex Miniak.
And now, your 2027 New York Mets.
Quickly now, a look at the two men who are entrusted with the starting pitching assignment here to begin the new year. With that, here's the starting lineup for the visiting Philadelphia Phillies. Mark, what do you have on this lineup as they go for their first win?
Matty, you take a look at this lineup. I find myself thinking back to my playing days when I knew I had the ace on the mound. It had to be win day, and when you get in the car to drive to the yard, you tell yourself, even though you felt bad about it, just get 2 or 3. All the pressure's on the big boy to have to execute, and usually does. Look for this lineup to try and execute and score, manufacture 1 or 2 runs early in this one. Here's the defensive alignment for the New York Metropolitans. And guys, the thing I want you to take a look at today is in today's game, the new age, everyone wants to move around. This manager does not like to shift a lot. Maybe a step to your right or left, but there's a lot of trust that the pitchers are going to execute. So let's see how it works out.
Digging in, Dave Britt. He'll lead things off here in the bottom.
Not a lot to speak of for these Philadelphia Phillies in the first game of the season, the first inning of the first game. So Jason comes up bottom 1 to try to hold these Mets right where they're at. Let's get it.
First pitch coming. Here it is.
Fastball away. First pitch of the year for Jason, and it's a strike. 0-1.
Right side.
Chops it over to the second baseman, and that is going to be the first out of the year, first out of the season.
Next up from New York, Bradley Zimmer.
Batting second, the center fielder, Bradley.
Well, last year was kind of disappointing for Jason from a couple of perspectives. I mean, from one sense, it was an unqualified success for Jason because he had a 1.73 ERA and 9.4 wins above replacement per Fangraphs calculation. On the other hand, he also allowed 23 home runs, which is over twice as many as he had allowed in the year prior. And, yeah, he got hit around quite a bit more than he did with his valedictorian year with the D-backs before free agency.
Into the windup. Here comes the 0-2 pitch.
And of course, for the first time in a few years, Jason's team failed to make the playoffs, and Jason himself missed out on winning his 5th Cy Young Award and 3rd consecutive in the National League. So it's unfortunate, but, you know, not unexpected, I guess I would say. Jason got used to playing for a very, very good team in the 25 and 26, or excuse me, the 24 and 25 Diamondbacks, teams that he helped take to the postseason, but you know, they also helped take him to the postseason on the strength of their bats. The Phillies, by contrast, do not have that kind of batting strength, or didn't last year. Hopefully they have addressed that somewhat in this offseason, because if not, it's going to be another long year. However, this was a very short inning, 8 pitches, 3 flyouts, and that's how, or 3 outs, 2 flyouts and a ground out, and that's how the inning goes away. So Phillies come back up top 2 to try to get some bats going.
Next for the Mets, Ruben Street will get to take his first cuts here.
The first baseman, Ruben Street.
One of Jason's former teammates and frequent targets here, Ruben Street. 31 career plate appearances for Ruben Street. Not exactly the greatest batter against Jason. Career 200 batting average with an OPS of 526 and a WOBA of 228. Now, for those who are less familiar with it, WOBA is weighted on a scale so that all of your various batting results are given supposedly equal weights. And you score it, or you judge it on the same type of scale as you would on-base percentage. So, a 300 WOBA, not great. 400 is really good. Anything higher, and you know, you're on fire. Change up away. Swung on for strike 2. Calls for a curveball inside. Didn't get that one down enough. Hung it a bit, in fact. And Jason's lucky to be getting the ball back. Swung on and missed below the zone. That's strikeout number 1 on the season for Jason. And that is the first out of the inning. Bringing up Rich Olson here for these Mets.
As he'll get his first opportunity in this one. First pitch on its way. Just able to get a
slider down in the zone, gets fouled off for the first strike. Chance Cisco calls for a curveball next. I think that's Chance Cisco. Liner up the center, and that is the first base hit of the year. Rich Olson gets on base with a liner right up the middle. Javier Baez coming to the plate now. And he, by comparison, hits Jason pretty well. Poorly's better than poorly.
From the stretch, here's the pitch. A swing and a shot hit down.
A cutter down and away.
Broke our scoreless tie. Instead, it's a foul ball.
Pulls that one foul. Slider away gets taken for ball 1, and meanwhile, Rich Olson has stolen second base, putting him in scoring position with Baez still up.
We'll see if it works out for him.
1-2 count now.
Olson, the runner at second with 1 away.
Swung on a curveball outside the zone, and that is going to be strikeout number 2 on the day for Jason in the second out of the inning.
Got it to bend a lot, and by the time it got there, it had fallen completely out of the zone. Not much you can do with that pitch.
Cal Farmer coming up now.
Next up will be Kyle Farmer.
Not the most plate appearances for him, 14 career plate appearances, but pretty good results in those 14 plate appearances. Got a 429 average and batting or slugging 1,000 against Jason. Fastball taken up, ball 1. Yeah, compare an OPS of 1429 and a WOBA of 584 to something like Ruben Street's 509 and 221.
Here's the 1-1.
Fastball in off the plate, taken ball 2.
Well, that two-seam fastball ran a little too much off the plate, but now that sets him up to work with something.
Swung on a curveball below the zone, and that's strike 2.
2-2 to the Mets catcher. Here's the 2-2.
Cutter away, fouled off. And another curveball fouled away.
The 2-2. Swung on.
Fastball inside, swung on and missed. And that is going to be the 3rd strikeout of the day for Jason and the 3rd out of the inning. So, Phillies, Jason coming to bat. 3rd inning, let's go. Now, of course, Jason, not the biggest threat with the bat, especially not last year. But we'll try to do our part. Good contact on that one, but lined right at the 3rd baseman. So Jason, 2nd out of the inning. And we come back around. Got a new rookie to face off against, Theodore Eaton, right fielder for these Mets.
He's ready. Here's the first offering.
Might be a bit premature, but we can start thinking about doing our favorite thing in the world to rookies. Fouls off the fastball down and in for an 0-2 count. Yeah, we'll be throwing a curveball, but it's going to be the old Ant special. High inside curveball. See what you can do with it, kid.
Fouled away.
Pops it back up behind the screen, so he stays alive. 0-2.
The next 0-2. And
fastball down in the zone, fouled off, staying alive.
The next 0-2.
Now a cutter running away, laid off. 1-2.
Grounded to 3rd.
Grounded slowly over to 3rd, and he is going to be out. So that's how the 3rd inning gets underway for the Mets. Ground out to 3rd. And that'll bring up pitcher Bernardo Padilla for these Mets.
The pitcher, Bernardo Padilla.
First delivery to him on the way. And
fastball down. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. Strike 1. Grounder, that's over to 2nd. Plenty of time to get it over there to 1st for the 2nd out of the inning. That brings back around Dave Britt, who has a history with Jason. Dave Britt, of course, former Miami Marlin, dealt to the Padres in the same deal that sent Jason to Miami. They've got 38 plate appearances against each other. And in that time, changeup, somewhat dubious call there. That was a pretty good spot, I thought.
They didn't miss by a whole lot, so it's not like he's all over the place.
Bases are empty here with 2 men out.
Chops the fastball below the zone, and that is a 2-1 count.
The 2-1 home. Hard on the ground towards
and that's right over there to short. Flipped over to 1st, and that is going to end the inning.
Mets go down 1-2-3. We'll head to the 4th, still scoreless.
Bradley Zimmer up to the plate here for the Mets. We are now up 2-0, so Jason now pitching with the advantage.
But it's really key for this leadoff guy to try to get on.
Chopped over to 3rd again. And they got him on the run, so Bradley Zimmer chops out with the first pitch. That's 1 away in the 4th. Bringing up the 3-hole hitter, Chet Ellis, 3rd baseman with his roly fingers mustache.
pitch of the at-bat on its way. Skied in the air to
fastball down.
Cortez on the move. He makes
Took kind of a weird line out on it out from this perspective, but nonetheless, that is a fly out to left field, and that is the second out of the inning, bringing Ruben Street back to the plate.
He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up.
Curveball, bit of a makeup call on that one. That is below the zone and a little dubious, but nonetheless, strike one.
Like that strike call, and his manager, he didn't like it either, as he's given the umpire an earful.
Grounder, shortstop's got it, and 4 pitches, 3 outs. Jason off the mound in record time and back into the dugout, ready to go back up to the plate. Phillies up 2-0 here going into the top of the 5th. Let's see if we can add on to this lead.
Next to hit will be the pitcher. Jason Parham comes into this at-bat 0 for 1 in the ballgame.
Coming on, 1 out, nobody on, top of the 5th.
Here's the first offering.
Running fastball down. Padilla is still on the mound for these Mets.
And he fouls this
Fouled that one off.
Hey, let's go, big fella.
Splitter down and away.
2-1.
Very good spot on that one, but laid off for ball 2.
He's not trying to work around him, and no reason to, but sometimes you just lose the
That one, on the other hand, again, bit of a dubious call, but strike 2 called.
4 hits and no errors on the ledger for the Phillies to this point. Hit on the ground.
Grounder over there to shortstop. They're going to make the play on it, and that is going to be the second out of the inning. So, Jason not able to add on here with his bat. Bringing up Rich Olson.
For the first time in this one.
Yeah, baseball is a game of adjustments, and it's time they start making some. They don't need to change
1 hit on the day.
and
The only hit that these Mets have mustered against Jason.
Ways to get the guy on the mound out of his rhythm a bit.
Now the 1-0 is taken, strike 1.
Fastball right down the pipe at 95, and that is strike 1 to even the count.
Miss in his approach at the plate. More often than not, he gets contact, and I'm sure that makes him a frustrating hitter.
Grounder, second baseman's got it.
You know, he takes his chances.
That'll be the first out of the inning.
1-0, 2-0. You'll see this guy try and get nasty a little bit, but he stays within himself. He knows.
Good looking line for Jason so far. 1 hit, no runs allowed through 4 1/3. So let's see if we can't keep it up here. Javier Baez coming up to the plate.
1 hit to this point. Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes.
Fastball taken
That gets the zone for a
up in the
strike.
zone for
You know,
strike
Matty, when I
1.
first broke into the league, you wouldn't see that high heater first pitch right out of the gate. But I think there's been a change in philosophy here. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, guys wanted to attack you more east-west, get you leaning left-right.
Fastball just off the corner inside, and that's ball 1.
North-south. Just with launch angles and exit velocities, I think guys
Try
are
slider
afraid to
now.
throw that sinking fastball for fear
Laid
of
off outside the zone for ball
Not
2.
the case with the high fastball.
Bit of a disadvantage count now for Jason.
And no errors on the Mets line score so far.
See what Baez does with it.
2-2.
Cutter above the zone,
Offense
swung
has
on
just
and
been
missed,
flailing
and
at
that's
the plate
strike
all
2 to
game
even
long,
the
so it's
count.
No wonder why they've only been able to pick up 1 hit so far. I'm not seeing much of a game plan from these hitters.
This is hit high in
Fastball
the air, left center.
hit to left center field, but hanging up there.
And he will run this
Left
one
fielder
down.
on the run
Moving to his
gets it, and
left,
that's the second out of the inning.
Out of the inning. Had a long way to go to make that running catch, and here it is again with the show track numbers. Took a great angle at
Raymond
it, showed nice
Cortez
closing speed, and ended up running
with a
close to
long
110
run,
feet to
but
finally
a
bring
successful
it in.
one,
No doubt
just
in
shy of the
efforts
warning
his
track
teammates are
for the second out.
Now batting, catcher.
Into the box, Kyle Farmer.
Kyle Farmer back up.
She'll go after the
Chops the first
and
pitch
bounces into
foul.
territory.
Strike 1.
Looking to put the ball in play here. He went down on strikes in his first at-bat.
Changeup laid off. Strike 2 now.
I I gotta say, his command of the corners in this start has been
Slider away is the call now.
East and west really well, and it's a
And
big
try to hit the corner with it.
Success.
Did a good job to shorten
Yeah,
up
hitting the spot more or less, but he still managed to foul it off.
Hey, now we got two.
The 0-2 once
Now a
more.
curveball to the same spot.
Misses. That's ball
Laid
one.
off outside the zone for ball one.
Curveball there, but he wasn't biting. Very well could see it again here, though.
Now we'll try. Cutter misses the zone inside, trying to crisscross him. Had a lot of success in the spring training games. Going two-seamer to the glove side of the plate and cutter to the arm side of the plate. Or I guess I should say left and right sides.
He's just having a hard time putting this guy away. 4 foul balls in this AB. I don't think this pitcher has
Kyle
got
Farmer
something
showing
that
why
he
he's
can
such a
get
tough
swing
out
and
and such a tough
Had to sit back on
opponent
the
here for
changeup, and
Jason.
He did a good job to get the bat on that one. Another 2-2 offering.
Next pitch.
And that's
Laid
a
off or swung on a
strike three
curveball
in the
below the
third.
zone, and that is going to be
The throw to first is in time,
the
and
second
the inning is
strikeout for
over.
Kyle Farmer, and that is going to
Strong
end
start on the mound
the
as he's
inning.
blanked him through the first 5. 5 innings
So
complete.
Jason struggling a little bit
Ready
with
for
Farmer
another
there
chance.
second time around, but nonetheless,
Things out in there, half
60
of
pitches
6,
through
but
5
he'll
innings,
shake things up here.
and brings
Lineup
up
that
Theodore
quite
Eaton once
has
again.
been non-existent to date.
No doubt about that. Now, they've been completely overmatched.
Well, he gets the inning
Fastball, and that is flying high out to the warning track.
and he's gonna have
But
room to
Cortez
put this
has
one
it, and that
away,
is the
and
first
that's
out of the
first
inning.
out.
Ladies
Willie
and gentlemen,
De La Cruz
your attention
will grab
please.
the
So
bat,
Willie
hit the
De La
pitcher.
Cruz
Number 28.
coming on as a pinch hitter for these Mets, down 2-0 here in the 6th. Jason has just about faced the minimum here.
And he takes a cold
Allowed
strike,
one base
0-1.
hit, but
He's been pitching really well so far in this one as we cruise into the middle innings. One of the big reasons why 80%
fly ball out to center field. Otskis looks to be under it, and that'll be the second out.
And the pinch hitter will not be able to advance the cause, and there are 2 away now.
And that'll bring up Dave Britt once again.
Top of the Mets order, digging in, Dave Britt. He'll swing it from the left side right
Third
here.
time through the rotation for Jason, and this is where the trouble usually starts.
But this will be a foul ball.
Maybe not for Jason specifically, but
The windup
third time
and
through the order.
0-1.
The opposing batters have seen your stuff enough times, and they start to zero in on it.
Have to find a way to get going. It's happened in the past. Every team goes through it where everyone seems
Pop
to fall
up,
into a funk
back
at the
behind
same time.
third, long
Everyone
run.
needs to relax and not try.
And he's got it
Baseman makes
for the
play,
final
and that
out.
ends the inning. Down in order
So
go
6
the
innings
Mets.
come and
They
gone.
grab
One
it
hit
here,
allowed
2
for
down.
Jason, but no runs. And Phillies are on top, going into the top of the 7th. Let's keep going.
Ready for another shot now.
Bradley Zimmer coming out here for the Mets. Still down 2-0.
They haven't been able to score any runs as we're moving late into this one. A perfect time for
Curveball
this
just
hit-up
below
guy
the black.
to try to
And
get
that
on
is
base
ball
and
1.
ignite a rally.
The 1-0 home
Try a changeup now.
is offered at
Out to the corner, and that is swung on and missed for
deck, but it'll only
a
matter
1-1
if the guy
count.
in the box can get on base.
Yeah, and that has to be his mentality at the plate right now, Matt. He can't be the hero.
Curveball
So he
catches
needs
the
to do what
outside
he can
corner, and that
to
is
give the
strike
guy
2.
behind him a chance to
So
be the
1-2
guy.
pitch called for a fastball down and away.
looking for the strike.
Two-seam action. Let's do it. Lined through the gap on the right field side, and that is going to be a base hit for Bradley Zimmer.
Up to this point, you see he's only given up 2 hits so far today, so he's been hitting.
They'll bring up Chet Ellis with a base runner and no outs.
But I'm not betting against him.
He's set and the pitch.
Fastball just above the zone at 96, ball 1.
Hey, this is a perfect opportunity for them to get on the board right now. Leadoff man has done his job. Now the middle of the order.
Fastball, hittable location, but fouled off.
Strike
Strike 1.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Takes a pass.
Fastball again down the pipe at 95. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
I was about to wait you out, but now game on.
Grounder past the first baseman into right field. And that is going to be runners on first and second with nobody out.
Well, that's one of the, I guess, the advantages of hitting with that hole between first and second base, D-Row. First baseman has to hold that runner on.
That's going to bring up Ruben Street. He's 0 for 2 so far. Don't allow a run, don't allow a walk. That's all we asked for.
Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Fastball up and in. Strike 1 at 98.
You know, guys, sometimes guys don't like pulling the trigger 0-0. They want to see something go by, calibrate the speed, calibrate the brake, and then make their adjustments off that. Maybe that's the case right here.
No one out now.
From the belt, the pitch.
That's a grounder.
But speared on a hop. Back to
Oh, no! Throwing error turns a potential double play into a fielder's choice.
Definitely rushed himself on that return throw to first there, and
so runners on the corners now with only one out.
And the runner didn't advance, so it'll just be scored a fielder's choice.
Bringing up Rich Olson. One of the better players in this spot, hit career 300 against Jason.
First pitch on its way.
Changeup, bottom of the zone, taken strike 1. Fastball, top of the zone, taken strike 2.
From here, it's 0-2 now.
With 2 strikes and the runners at the corners.
Well, in this situation, you might as well go for broke. Showtime slider down and away. Let's go. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5 on the day for Jason, and that is the second out of the inning. So it's going to take a base hit to get a run in here. But again, Javier Baez, not a bad pick.
First delivery to him on the way.
Fouls off a fastball up and in, strike 1.
The 0-1 on its way. Grounder down the line.
Grounds a fastball down the third base line, flipped over to second, and Jason gets out of the bind undamaged. Still no runs. 2 hits, but no runs for these Mets. Going into the top of the 8th, Phillies still on top.
Digging in once again, Jason Parham over 2 on his line thus far.
Well, they're still letting Jason bat, so figure something must be happening here. Little faith in Jason.
Here's the first pitch. And now a bunt attempt here as he gets this one down. And the throw to first
lays down a bunt to move the batter over. Considering he was 0 for 2 already, you might as well. And that'll bring up Kyle Farmer here. Bottom of the 8th. Phillies up 3-0.
First offering on its way.
Cutter.
Strike at the knee.
Weird strike zone today. That's called a strike. That one's not, fortunately. 38,568 people here in Citi Field. The Mets thank you for your support. And as ever, I thank you guys for coming to my videos, coming to my streams, enjoying the content that I put out, and enjoying interacting with me, I hope.
Hey, get him yourself. Strike him out right now.
Set to deal on
I wouldn't have stuck with this for near as long as I did, as long as I have, if it wasn't for your continued support and kind words.
The 1-2.
And I hope to continue producing great videos into MLB The Show 20 and beyond. Strike 3 called. Give that man a hat. Third strikeout on the day for Kyle Farmer. With a slider down below the zone, really, but called strike 3. And he's not too happy about it. Better watch out he doesn't get tossed.
Now batting, right fielder.
Stepping in now,
Theodore Eaton back on. Grounds that one over there to short. Slow roller. Beats out the throw, or the throw beats him out at at first base. I know my words. What are you talking about?
Clay Parrish will get the call to pinch hit here as we'll see what he can
Clay
do.
Parrish coming on now for the Mets. And thus far, I don't have much to say about him. 5 career plate appearances, 0 batting average.
Inner third, let go.
Two-seamer up and in, taken at 95 for strike 1.
Hey, come on now.
Curveball to the outside corner, taken strike 2.
I guess he's
And
really
just
trying
as
to
I was
measure that
thinking.
fastball in his first at bat, but you really never want to put yourself in 0-2 count if you could do anything about it.
Change up to the outside. It's dribbled over to short, and that is going to do it here in the 8th. Phillies coming back out into the 9th. See if they can maybe add on to this score. 3 outs to go. We'll see if they go to Jason in the bottom of the 9th. They're going to give him the chance here. Dave Britt coming out here. The 1-2-3 hole hitters coming out for Jason in the bottom of the 9th. Got a 3-0 lead. The potential for Maddox is still there. Complete game shutout, certainly, even if he goes over 100 pitches.
No up, good, no up. Let's go now. What's that?
Fastball up and away, taken strike 2.
Hey, plays at 1 now.
Next pitch is a curveball.
Now a ball lined to the left
Fouled
side.
off. 95 pitches now, looking less likely for a Maddox. Chops the changeup foul. Let's go up and in with this cutter. Not quite chin music, but swung on and missed. Strikeout number 7 on the day for Jason.
Just bringing up strikeouts left and right, but what's really impressive to me,
That is the first out of the inning. 2 outs to go.
His stuff is dirty today.
Standing in now, Bradley Zimmer.
Bradley Zimmer up now.
Left side, but well fouled. He's got a hit in 3 at-bats to this point.
At this point, 320 batting average against Jason in 25 plate appearances. Career 309 WOBA.
Now, your pitch, drive it deep, huh? Here you go.
It's about a 720 OPS.
Liner towards
And that's going to be a liner to right field, so he's 2 for 4 on the day for Jason. And at 99 pitches in the 9th inning, with a runner on first, they're going to leave Jason in to face Chet Ellis, 3-hole hitter. Maddox is off the board now with pitch 100 coming up.
Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Change up to the outside corner, swung on for strike 1.
Hey, in this day and age where everybody's watching the pitch,
Fastball pumped down the center of the plate at 95, strike 2.
Looks awfully impressive on the mound.
Nothing in 2 count, and the pitch.
Popped it straight up.
Cisco waits on it.
Jason coming out in front of the plate.
The pitcher that makes the play.
And that is out number 2, 1 out to go. And the man on the plate is Mr. Ruben Street again, 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout. So we'll see if he can maybe turn around his fortunes here.
From the stretch.
Changeup misses the zone, ball 1.
Below the zone.
Here we go. No one better.
Fastball inside corner, strike 1. 97 miles an hour even this late into the game. Over 100 pitches into it, and Jason's still throwing mid to high 90s. Never going to break the speed record, I don't think, but considering Jason is throwing with 2-seam action, that's not nothing. Pulls the fastball up in the zone.
it's gone. But this one will bend foul. Had plenty of distance, though, as it landed in the upper deck.
Sprays that one off, and that's back into right field, so Ruben Street gets himself a base hit here. Runners first and second now, with 2 out. They may leave Jason in, or they may pull him for the reliever. No, they are going to leave him in. Rich Olson here.
In now, Rich Olson.
Fastball inside corner, strike one.
He's working on a
1 for 3 on the day with the stolen base. That's a grounder over to second. And that, my friends, is how you start a season off right. Jason pitches for 9 innings, allows 5 hits but no runs, collects 7 strikeouts, and gets himself the win. He, of course, starts 1-0 on the season, and he goes to 118 and 50 in his career. His ERA on the season is a perfect 0. His FIP is 1.66, and his xFIP is at 3.21. So that's going to do it for me. Until next time, I'm Tyrant Saber, and I will see you at the ballpark.